Welcome to Interpreting Simplified. Every journey to becoming a medical interpreter is very unique. And today we're going to find out how Vanessa did it. Hi, welcome to Interpreting Simplified. Today we're going to be joined by an amazing medical interpreter. We're going to be interviewing her and asking her about her journey to becoming a certified medical interpreter. So let me introduce you to my good friend and colleague, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to for you to share your story with everybody. I just think it's really important because, as you know, everybody's journey is different. And us sharing how we got to become certified medical interpreters is important because it can encourage, it can motivate, it can also show that if I can do this, anybody can do this. Why don't we just start with something simple and tell us how you became a medical interpreter?
Before getting started, I hope that I can just at least help one person out there. Because I mean, like you said, if I was able to do it, I think anybody else can do it.
Yes.
I think that the starting process is the hardest because you don't know what school to trust, what training program to trust. It's a lot of like researching, and then there's a lot of scams out there nowadays. So I think I was very skeptical in starting, but I found a website and I put my trust into it, and I did my 40-hour training course online. It was also during the pandemic, so I was also very fortunate to do that.
How did you find out about medical interpreting?
I think I went on the NBCMI website and I found it there. I don't remember, but I kind of just went with one and I rolled with it. That was it.
So was this a profession that you knew about before, or did you always want to become a certified medical interpreter, or how did you decide, hey, I want to become a medical interpreter?
It's going to sound so weird, but I always felt it in my heart. Like I didn't know this was an actual profession, but you know, when you help your parents in medical offices and you always do it as a child, I just always grew up thinking that I want to do this professionally, but I didn't know it was like an actual profession. So, because not a lot of colleges offer this like specific degree or major or anything, but I always felt that this is what I wanted to do.
And what was the I guess I want to know. So for me, I decided I want to become an interpreter, and then I went online and I did research, and I found, and everybody knows my story, so I'm not going to get into that. But at what point did you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and what was the first thing you did?
I think it's difficult to answer that question because I was studying something different at the time. And I ran into an actual medical interpreter during my studies. So I've met her and I never let her go. She couldn't really tell me either how to start, how to go about it, but I had her support. And I just had met this woman. So I was very fortunate that I met her, and I think she motivated me that like there's an actual profession. She motivated me to like figure it out. So I really can't answer the question.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
it's hard.
It was just a lot of stuff at the same time, and I just did it.
Okay.
Somehow. I don't know.
From the day that you decided this is what I'm going to do you remember approximately how long it took you to actually become certified?
Yes. Again, because it was during the pandemic, I didn't have a sense of urgency. So I paid for the course, and I think they give you about a year's access. So I let that expire. So I did part of it and I let it expire. So I had to pay to open up that window again. I finally finished it. And so I would say it took me less than a year and a half, but because I let it go. I could have done that in a week if I wanted to. But I think about a year and a half it took me to actually take the exam and get certified.
And did you get certified through NBCMI or CCHI?
NBCMI.
Do you want to tell us why? Because you know there's two, and I did NBCMI, but I didn't even know CCHI existed. So that's like full transparency. That's why I went with NBCMI. How did you decide?
Full transparency. I again did research because I didn't know what to choose. I didn't know what was better. I thought one was just state. I thought the other one was national, but they're both national, and they're the same certification, just different agencies who give that exam. I remember just choosing NBCMI because it seemed easier. I think there was less questions, and I was at a point where I was like, I can't fail this exam, and I can't stress over so many questions. I think that's why I went with NBCMI.
But how many questions NBCMI had and CCHI?
I think it was just, no, I don't remember what I saw. I don't, something was like, just do NBCMI.
Okay.
So it just seemed easier at the time.
And what 40-hour course, do you remember which 40-hour course you took?
It was called MITS, or like medical interpreting or medical interpreter training school, something like that.
How did you find it?
Again, I think I went on NBCMI.com and I found it, or
And
whatever
the org there.
Yeah.
So one of the lists.
It might have been there. I don't remember how I found it.
Oh, okay.
I was just lucky.
Oh, cool. What did you do to prepare for the test besides the 40-hour training?
I studied a lot. Again, I couldn't afford to just fail my exam. So I printed out all of the terminology. I rewatched all the videos. I stayed hours every day, just studying the terminology forward and backwards, like one language to the next, the other one backwards. And then from A through Z, Z through A, like I studied all of the 600 words that they give you, like all of it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And do you think that learning the terminology was the key component to you passing the test, or were there other things that also helped prepare you for the test?
I think knowing the terminology and like knowing what those words meant helped me, but obviously interpreting is a different skill. It was not just memorizing terminology. So I would say it helped me understand like procedures, or what this was part of the, like, what body system, what this was for, things like that. But it's not just terminology. So I wouldn't say just study terminology. It's interpreting. Like, that's the whole skill, interpreting.
What mode of interpreting did you practice the most?
Probably consecutive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it seemed like the easiest. It's probably not the easiest. It depends. Everybody says different things.
Everybody has their different, their preference. But I think it's consecutive is what we use most in a medical setting. So for medical interpreting, we tend to use consecutive more. Did you know that already, or you just thought consecutive was something that you were better at than at the moment? Because you're an amazing interpreter, consecutive and simultaneous. So
no, I think I knew that the exam was going to be consecutive. So
okay.
So that's what you study. I don't remember it having like sight translation or simultaneous. I don't think it had that. So that's why I studied consecutive more, because it was going to be on the exam.
How did you find your first medical interpreting job?
Going back to my wonderful friend and colleague, who I randomly ran into or like started talking to, she, once I was certified, or before I became certified, she was the one who, I would say, she put my name out there. She didn't know me at the time. I think she just got lucky with me.
I know.
I could have been a bad person.
You could have.
So she put my name out there. She took a chance on me, and I will forever be grateful for her and for that, because I think because of her, I got my first opportunity.
Because of her is how you and I met.
Oh, yeah, so fantastic. Thanks.
She still owes me for that. So where would you say medical interpreters can find work? In your experience?
In my experience, I wish I would have known this before I started.
And that's why we're doing this, because there are other people that don't know this. We're going to give them the inside track.
Okay. Online. Again, I'm skeptical about things online because there's so many scams, but it's literally online. Just look up, your language and interpreting, or interpreters in your area, and specific language that you're looking into or that you interpret into. And there's a lot of work out there. LinkedIn has a lot of information. I Google everything. So just different sites. It's
different sites that offer jobs on the spot, or what are these sites that they're looking at?
Oh, like agencies.
Okay.
Yeah.
The agencies.
You look at agencies who work with interpreters, like you're a contract interpreter, and they have a lot. I mean, there's also like hospitals that hire, and those are more like staff, like in-house interpreting. There's county. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stuff that you can find. I'm just not good at become a friend. Become friends with an interpreter. They know a lot.
Yes, you got to know an interpreter.
Yeah.
No, but that's why we're here, because not everybody knows an interpreter.
Yeah.
And we're that friend.
Makes sense.
That they're going to turn to.
Agencies, look for agencies.
Yes. Would you recommend this profession to others?
Absolutely. I love what I do. It's very rewarding. It's important. It's great. You learn so much. It's never a boring day. There's always something new. You may think that you know everything one day, but then the next day you're given something so out of your ballpark, and you just learn it on the spot. And sometimes you don't have time to prepare. You just do it, and it feels good once you're done.
In that case, how would you encourage others who want to become certified medical interpreters?
Do it. I think it's good to have. The families deserve somebody who's certified, and it's a lot better. It's a profession, and just like any profession, I think it should be taken seriously. If we take ourselves seriously, everyone else will take us seriously, because it's important.
It's very important, and that's why we're doing this. If you could go back and redo your training process, what would you do differently?
Faster. A lot faster. I would have done more research. I would have, I don't know. I think I would have done it faster. Get it done quicker, taking it seriously, and actually have that sense of urgency that I didn't have.
And I'm going to ask you just something. What is the funniest thing that has happened to you on the job?
Oh, I don't know. So many things, probably, that a word that I probably don't know, or like a phrase I probably don't know how to say, and I kind of, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ever say something? Did you ever interpret, and then when you left, you were like, "Oh, that it was so not what the word was," and then you want to just run back? Like, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, recently, the word I was interpreting. It was still early in the morning. Okay, so I was interpreting, and Mom said if there was like this, detox facility, and instead of saying detox, I said to unintoxicate. So, because means to undo something, and so I said unintoxicate, and the doctor was like, so like a detox. And I was like, that's the word. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I haven't had coffee yet, but that's it. Yeah.
And I know you know the word detox, but sometimes, right, you're in the moment and you just blank out.
Yeah.
But as long as you still convey
She understood. It was so embarrassing, but she's like, so like a detox. I'm like, oh, thank goodness you know the word. It was.
Well, I mean, we are great, but we're human and we make mistakes.
We're not robots.
So, yes.
We're not AI. So.
And I just want you to share with everybody what has been the most rewarding part of your profession of being a medical interpreter.
When parents or families or the patients or whoever I'm interpreting for, they understand what is being said. I think walking out when like the family says, like they don't have any more questions, or the provider says, or did you understand everything, or do you have any questions? And the family says, no, everything was clear.
Yes.
That is so rewarding. If they say everything was clear, that's because I did my job. They understood everything and I did it correctly. And that is very rewarding.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you again for doing this, and just for being amazing. You're an awesome human being. You're a great medical interpreter, and I don't tell you this enough, but I really admire your professionalism and your dedication to the profession.
Thank you. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think the same about you.
Oh, thank you.